If you're here because you struggle to wake up in the morning and you just can't seem to change your ways, I have good news. This is just a story you're telling yourself. So I invite you to stop now. Please. Good morning, good life. Welcome back to Amy TV, where we come together to help you go after the life that you want. I think we have a few new faces around here today, so if indeed you are, thank you so much for being around here, my little area of the internet. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. That helps all of us out to make sure that you get all the things. I make videos about getting more organized, managing your time, and of course, morning routines. So hope to see you back. If you're not new around these parts, then you know that I'm working on my second book. I'm actually done writing it, and it is all about leveraging mornings and specifically the rituals that you have throughout the morning to start your day on the right foot. Good Morning, Good Life is my little manual that I'm creating just for you, and I'm so excited about it. The interesting thing that I learned as I was researching for the book and writing was that most people who struggle with their mornings are usually trying to do something that's on someone else's terms rather than their own. So whether they are waking up and in a rush because they have to go do something for someone else, or if they're waking up and trying to have a routine that somebody else suggested would be kind of cool, but isn't actually customized for them. This is the complete and exact opposite of what is effective for starting your day on your terms. You should have the time that you've designed for yourself, not what someone else has designed for you. That is what I hope most people will take away from this book. You gotta do you, and that's why I'm writing this, but I wanted to talk about some of the basic principles that I think will help you figure out what are those things that I should be doing to start my day right according to how I feel in this video, because I just can't wait to talk about the book, even though the book's not out yet. I just have to share all the things. You know how I am when I have information, I just have to get it out of me. I feel I was put on this earth to tell everyone everything I know. Okay, maybe not everything. Yeah, no, not everything. But for now, let's talk about what the basics look like for you to have a morning routine on your terms. I actually think it's much more simple than the internet would allow you to believe. The worst thing that you could do is overcomplicate your morning with a bunch of stuff that just doesn't apply to you, specifically if you try to give yourself too many things. My morning routine, I'm not gonna lie, it's got a lot of steps to it, okay? We probably got about 6 to 7 things that I do. Sometimes it's a little bit more, like on Mondays, I like to do a little bit more to start the week than I would on the rest of the days of the work week, but there's still at least 5 things that I do every morning to start the day off. Starting out with all that stuff to do on day one is a little overwhelming and is probably not a good enough reason to get out of bed, especially if you don't really know the why behind what you're doing. I'm not going to get into the why today, but I believe that if you fill 3 simple buckets of things each morning, and some of them could overlap, no big deal. If you do these 3 things, cover these 3 areas, I think that you've started your morning off flawlessly. And it could take less than 15 minutes, so it doesn't have to be super overwhelming. It's not about how much time you spent on it. It's about the fact that you gave yourself time at all. So, without further ado, may I introduce to you my 3 good morning guidelines. The first is mindfulness. You've probably heard this term a lot, especially in the last 5 to 10 years or so. It's definitely hot right now. But I actually believe this is hugely important to starting your day. If we want to describe mindfulness very simply, it's basically a state of awareness and consciousness. So you know what you're doing when you're doing it. Right now, I'm making a video. So right now I'm not thinking about the words I want to say. I'm not thinking about you. I am thinking about how I'm making a video right now. That's a little example of being mindful. Probably the most obvious example we hear of mindfulness is meditation. Meditation is basically the epitome of mindfulness. But there are also things that you can do to be more mindful. Morning pages is a great example. Writing in morning pages means you are thinking a thought and writing it down immediately. That's something I do every morning, and I'm a huge believer in it. If you've been around here for 5 minutes, you already know this. But the goal is to be doing something and thinking about what you're doing while you're doing it and sort of reiterating that to yourself so that you are completely grateful for the state at which you are at that moment. You're not thinking too far ahead. You're not thinking too far behind. So let's make it really easy on you. Let's say you only have a 15-minute morning and sitting down to even meditate for 5 minutes is gonna take a big chunk of time away. What could you do instead? Well, like I said before, you could simply do a task and fully be doing that task by being present in it. Here's an easy one. Take your vitamins. I know what you're thinking. Amy, why is taking my vitamins mindful? I'm glad you asked. Think about the last time you took your vitamins. What were you doing while you took them? I know you're probably thinking like, well, I was just taking my vitamins. Well, yes, but were you just taking your vitamins? Or were you also driving to work? Or planning what you're gonna wear that day? Or thinking about what the next steps are? Or already stressing out about somebody you might see that day? You weren't actually seeing anyone. You weren't actually driving a car. You weren't actually dressed yet. But while you were taking your vitamins, you were not thinking about taking your vitamins. You were doing something else entirely. Your brain is powerful. Whatever you're doing with it when you're doing something else is what you remember. Next time you take your vitamins, try just taking them. Like, it's really simple, right? Okay, I'm taking my vitamins now. I'm opening the package. I feel the package in my hands. I feel the vitamins in my hands. Now I'm grabbing a glass of water and I'm going to chase my vitamins with that water. I'm going to feel the vitamins on my tongue. I'm going to feel the water going down my throat. And then you've actually taken your vitamins while taking your vitamins. Boom. Mindfulness. These little things can just be the 30 seconds to a minute of mindfulness that adds up over the course of a day. I take them a little bit more seriously, and that is why I'm so excited that my favorite vitamin company is partnering with me on this video, and that is Care of. The reason I particularly like them is they have these individualized, personalized, compostable packets, and they hold your daily dose for your vitamins that day, but also have a motivational tip or a quote on the front that you can read every day when you're doing this ritual. I feel like that little thing, that little note is something I enjoy reading so much because it's setting the tone for the fact that I could just take my vitamins or I can take my vitamins. And whatever's written there just feels like this special little message just for me in order to set the tone for that action. I'm now much more appreciative of this thing that I've done for myself, for this thing that I've done for my health and for my body. Everyone's packet is different, obviously, and it's so great that they're personalized and really easy to personalize your own. All you have to do is head to their website and take a short 5-minute quiz, super easy to answer questions about your diet, your lifestyle, and your health needs. These vitamins are going to be based on your own quiz results, so everybody's are going to be different. I think that's so important because, again, your mornings are different, your vitamins are different too. Everyone's health is different for a reason. We have different needs, we have different wants. Whether you're like me and you want some hair, skin, and nail help, or you want to decrease stress, or you want to increase energy, there are going to be perfect options here for you with the Care of vitamin selection. Like I said, I absolutely love these for that helpful, mindful moment to start my day, but it's also super convenient that I don't have to think about it. They just show up to my door, personalized and ready to go. I just set the box up at my sink in my bathroom, and I remember to take them every day. So if you want to have a very easy, mindful moment at the start of every day, then I highly suggest you go ahead and check out that quiz at takecareof.com. It's 5 minutes, super simple and easy, and you don't have to start doing things like meditation or all these other things that might not be comfortable for you yet. You could just take your vitamins while you take your vitamins. And also, you can get 50% off with my code AmyL50 in the checkout. Find out more details in the description below. The bottom line is you can choose a simple task and choose to simply do that task, and you have checked off bucket number 1 of your day. My second good morning guideline is movement. Now you're probably thinking, what? I have to exercise? Yes, I mean, that's what all the peoples would tell you. Start your day with exercise. It's a great idea. Get it out of the way. Your body's ready to do it. Awesome. But that may not be the only thing that qualifies as movement for you. Sometimes I actually consider my skincare to be movement because it's the first thing I actually do to move at the beginning of the day. I get out of bed. If I could make my bed, I would, but my husband's usually in it, so I don't. I go to the bathroom and I immediately wash my face. When I say wash my face, I don't always use cleanser in the morning because that's a whole different skincare topic, but I wet my face, I use some toner, do the the moisturizer, brush my teeth, the whole thing. Just that little bit of movement moves my face around, moves my facial expressions around, gets me started on the day, and I start to feel more like myself. So it doesn't always mean that you have to go to the gym, you have to do this whole workout, you have to go meet the trainer. If that's right for you, then do it. You've got to incorporate it at some point in your day, at least 3 to 4 times a week if you want to be living your longest life, like I do. But you could also do something like take a walk. If it's not too early in the morning and it's light outside, go walk and get a coffee. Or maybe even just taking a huge drink of water could be considered movement for your body. You're moving the inside of your body to get started. You could stretch, you could make your bed when your husband wakes up, you could also sing. Whatever is your thing. That was annoying. That rhyme was annoying. What could qualify as movement? If you wake up at the last minute, hit your alarm, and run out the door because you're late for work, sure. But then it's not on your terms, it's on someone else's. And quite frankly, that kind of movement doesn't feel good. That's not an exercise you're excited to brag about later. Like, oh yeah, I exercised this morning by being 15 minutes late for work when I woke up and throwing clothes on and running out the door as fast as I could. No one is proud of that exercise, okay? I mean, you did burn calories, check your Apple Watch, but it's not cool. So find your own way to do some movement, do some stretches, do some walking if you don't have time to go to the gym. I personally think 16 ounces of water and skincare is a little bit of movement for the morning before I actually have time a little bit later in my morning for a real workout. I don't choose to do exercise first thing in the morning. And my third and final good morning guideline is mastery. This one I think is the most important because if you're sitting here and you're saying, I really wish I had better mornings, I wish I could optimize my mornings, I wish my mornings felt more like mine and not someone else's, it's usually because you're aspiring to something and you want to achieve something. And so with that being the case, making time to work toward mastery in that thing, even if it's not totally possible. It's okay if you just want to learn a little bit of Spanish and not necessarily be fluent. But working toward that mastery is something that you can do in the morning. So it is probably my most favorite of all the guidelines because I look the most forward to it. I do the mindfulness and I do the movement so that I'm not just starting my brain up on something without a lot of notice first thing in the morning. But the mastery is what I get so pumped about. Being able to sit down, maybe I'm taking an online class because I need to learn a trade, or doing some creative writing, something particularly for me. When I write up an Instagram caption, it's not on the fly. I like to write those in advance. I like to put thought into them. And so I'll write those out. These videos are also not on the fly. I'm sure that you could have guessed that by now. I like to write them out. I like to put a lot of thought into them. These are the mastery moments that happen in the beginning of my mornings, usually. But a couple of others that could be applicable to you would be reading. Maybe you need to read up on something. Maybe you need to read up on some motivation. You're mastering a better mindset in your life. Or your goal setting or goal review. Something I also do in my morning is rewrite my goals every day just to not forget what I'm working toward all the time. That could be a part of your mastery as well. So when you think about a goal that you might have or a thing that you're hoping to achieve or something that feels really far off and away from you, but you wish were happening, what could you incorporate into the mastery bucket in the morning that could help you get closer every day? Even if you only have 5 minutes. If you have 5 minutes to read a book on it, if you have 5 minutes to watch a YouTube video tutorial about it, what can you do in your mastery bucket? So those are my 3 good morning guidelines that I'm writing about in my book, Good Morning, Good Life. You have mindfulness, movement, and mastery. Hopefully pretty easy for you to remember and maybe something that you can start incorporating tomorrow. Choose just those 3 things to start. 3 things that feel good to you. 3 things that you think that no matter what time that alarm clock went off tomorrow, you would wake up and you would feel pumped to just do those 3 things, knowing that you decided. And that is your question of the day. Just thinking from a gut instinct, what are your mindful, your movement, and your mastery moments that you would do tomorrow morning? Leave that in the comments below. I'm so excited to share this book with you when it finally comes out. Again, if you want a little bit of access and info on the book, join my Good Morning, Good Life access list. That is in the description below, so check that out. Just a couple of emails every now and again to let you know what's going on with the book. By the way, if you're not already hanging out with me on my other favorite place on the internet over on Instagram, then definitely go check that out over there. I love to share behind the scenes of all the things that I'm up to, including videos, podcasts, Shine Squad, the book, all the things. You can search for Amy Landino or Schmittastic in the search bar. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Make sure you subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life that you want. Cheers. Drink. Sip of coffee. Let's take out the hamminess. That feels horrible, please. I can't. I can't, but I will.